The video shows a glimpse of what life was like for WNBA star Brittney Griner inside Russian prison. She spent her days carrying fabric because she was too tall to sit at the sewing tables where other prisoners worked. Her bed was too small for her 6'9" frame. Griner was arrested back in February for traveling with hashish oil, a substance banned in Russia. She was sentenced to 9 years in prison in August. Her release part of a prisoner swap for Victor Bout, a convicted Russian arms dealer.
Wait. Brittney Griner was locked up in a Russian male prison, and now she's under fire for attacking Caitlyn Clark? This isn't just another sports headline, this is a full-blown scandal. The WNBA's most controversial star just elbowed America's sweetheart, Caitlyn Clark, on live TV. But what happened next? You're not gonna believe it. It will shock you to the core. It's all about her identity. And oh, we're gonna uncover everything.
But apparently, Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man.
Doctors are stepping in, and what they're revealing about Griner's medical history has sent shockwaves through the entire league. We're talking bone structure, voice patterns.
It was nice to be back on the court in a real game and everything.
AI scans and Instagram videos that never should have existed. Is Brittney Griner really who she says she is? Did the WNBA know and cover it up? Trust me, this goes way deeper than basketball. And Griner, she's in panic mode. Because this might be the biggest scandal in women's sports history. Stick around because what we found out might just change everything you thought you knew about the WNBA. Let's rewind to the moment that changed everything. Fever versus Mercury. A high-intensity matchup, but things go from physical to personal in an instant.
Caitlyn Clark did not back down when the Atlanta Dream got chippy with her. Especially Ryan Howard was trying to get on Caitlyn her nerves, but she kept cooking her. And they were face guarding her the entire game like she was prime Steph Curry.
There's a lot of bumping and like that. And there's some words between the two players as Nas Hillman quickly.
And at the end of this altercation, you can clearly see Caitlyn Clark say, "I'm not scared of you." And Howard continued to be provocative. And after Caitlyn drew this offensive foul on Brittney Griner, it looked like she was pretty annoyed with her.
Brittney moved.
And here she gets clearly fouled, and again they were chirping at her afterwards.
30-31, they came in the season. Ryan Howard, Caitlyn Clark finding a way to...
And here Brittney Griner picked up her 6th foul and had to sit for the rest of the game. You could clearly see what she was saying.
Talking about earlier today.
Brittney Griner doesn't just foul Caitlyn Clark, she straight up launches an elbow. And it wasn't one of those heat of the game bumps. Nah, this was calculated. You could feel the tension boil over through your screen. Clark stumbled, but didn't retaliate. She kept playing. But social media, they didn't let it slide. People started zooming in on Griner's face, and then it blew up. Lip readers confirmed what fans feared. Griner mouthed, "trash fucking white girl," right there, on national television, in front of millions. Now here's the thing, trash talk happens in basketball. Everyone knows that. But this crossed the line into something more dangerous, something racial, something ugly, and still nothing from the league. No flagrant foul, no statement, no fine, nothing. Like they didn't see it, or didn't want to deal with it. But fans weren't going to let this go. The elbow was just the spark. What followed was an avalanche of questions, and what people uncovered next took this story way beyond the basketball court.
But my first inclination is to say that this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram.
All right, here's where things start feeling like a Netflix documentary. Out of nowhere, sports medicine experts started weighing in. And no, they weren't talking about playmaking or Griner's stats. They were talking about her biology. Doctors, therapists, even AI analysts began looking at Griner's physical makeup: shoulders, bone structure, how fast she recovers from injuries. One expert literally said, "That's not typical for a female athlete, especially not at this level."
The women have a league. As far as I understand, it's mostly women without penises, but I leave that to you to figure it. Well, it's actually a little unclear because this Brittney Griner, a lot of people think she's a dude. But in any event, Brittney Griner is a black basketball player who some people think is a man. I don't know. I guess she's a woman. Let's just say she's a woman. Here's a chick, a black chick. Brittney Griner's a fine player, I suppose. We'll get to that in a minute.
It wasn't hate. It wasn't trolling. It was professionals pointing out something that's been overlooked or maybe even hidden. That's when the buzz started. People weren't just questioning the elbow, they were questioning if the league had ever properly checked Griner's eligibility to play in the WNBA. If doctors are raising alarms, should the league be ignoring them? Let's talk receipts. Because in today's world, everything leaves a digital trail. An old Instagram story of Griner resurfaced. Nothing new there except this one showed her topless. No surgery scars, no blurs. Just up there for the world to see. And here's the kicker, Instagram didn't take it down.
Flag you. Brittney, let me see something real quick. Brick! Thank you! Get the hell out of here, yo! Jab stepping, just a brick. Swing and a miss!
Oh!
Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
Swag is down for
All right,
the
we
count.
can stop it.
Now, if you know anything about Instagram's AI filters, they're really good at spotting nudity, especially female nudity. But this one stayed live for over 2 years.
Yeah, so let's talk about it, guys. Again, allegedly, it could be any number of things, but my first inclination is to say that this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram. And when it comes to Instagram, they use a combination of like AI detection and plus manual surveyors, but specifically the AI detection to make sure that no explicit content ends up on the platform. So clearly whatever AI detection system was used when Brittney posted this and it stayed up for 106 weeks was not like, oh, this is a bare female chest, we have to take this down. It obviously assumed that Brittney was male and therefore being topless on the platform was totally fine. It did not constitute as nudity.
So either the algorithm's broken or it didn't detect female anatomy. Think about that. $1 billion company's AI system didn't see her as female. What does that tell us? Can AI mess up? Sure. But do you trust it more than a sports league that refuses to speak? You know what's worse than a scandal? A cover-up. And that's what this is starting to feel like. The WNBA hasn't said a word. No statement, no clarification, no apology to Caitlyn Clark, nothing. Now imagine if roles were reversed. If Caitlyn had elbowed Brittney and dropped a racial slur, would the league stay quiet?
She gets bodied, dude, like NFL linebacker style.
What? That is crazy.
Yeah. Look at this. Clock her ass, man.
Yeah, black women hate her.
Dude, I don't even see like LeBron get battered like this.
Yeah.
And he, like, somebody has bad breath and they breathe on him and he goes flying back.
Yeah. Yeah, she actually spoke out for black women. There's a black women's league.
Yeah, she's like a leftist.
She's like a cuck for black women.
Yeah,
and
she's,
they beat the crap out of her.
Well, that's what happens when you cuck out to people. They don't respect you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think she did it to hope to get their respect. Yeah. That is not going to work.
Look at this.
You getting way too much attention. You making all this money and endorsements. They're jealous of you. She's like the face of that league.
Yeah, and she's the only person like really putting butts in the seats.
Yeah.
Exactly. The silence isn't just weird, it's suspicious. And fans aren't stupid. We see what's happening. The league's protecting its image, even if it means ignoring medical professionals and letting a player like Clark take the hit literally. Would you keep watching a league that lets this slide? Okay, back to the doctors. They ran a full checklist, not in a lab, but from years of professional observation. They looked at skeletal structure, muscle composition, recovery rates, and voice patterns, and everything pointed to one thing: this doesn't match typical female elite athletes. Even her injury history raised eyebrows. Most WNBA players need time to bounce back from physical stress. Griner, she recovers like an NFL linebacker. And that's not shade, that's science. Medical experts are now calling for full biological verification. Chromosome testing, hormone analysis, bone density scans. Not because they're trying to shame anyone, but because fairness in women's sports matters.
Brittney is a weird case. He's a man, yes, that much is obvious, but not in the way that you think. He isn't trans. He's a straight cis male who was raised as a girl and given a girl's name by his parents. His mother is the insane one. She forced him to live as a female right up through high school, filled out all of his paperwork, including BC as female, and kept the charade going. He played on girls' sports teams because his papers said he was a girl. He had to keep pretending in college, stay in women's teams, and now he just has to keep barely pretending to stay in the WNBA. But in all other ways, he lives life as a man. He wears men's clothes, dates and married a woman, has masculine features, and takes masculine roles. If not for his mother's insanity, he would be a mediocre male player in the NBA. And honestly, that may even be a little bit generous.
Shouldn't every athlete play on a level field? There's more to this than just bruises and bones. Mental health experts have stepped in too. And what they're seeing is unsettling. That elbow, that slur, it wasn't just about basketball. It was controlled, almost cold. That's not just anger, it's deeper than that. Some say it's about identity stress, living a double life, hiding from something big. When that pressure builds up over time, it erupts. And unfortunately, Caitlyn Clark became the outlet. Now imagine being Caitlyn. You're a rookie sensation, putting the league on your back, and then you get attacked by a vet in front of millions. What message does that send to every other young woman in the sport? What kind of culture is the WNBA building if this is what it protects? Let's talk real consequences. If all this medical talk holds weight, if Griner's biology doesn't match the rules for women's sports, this isn't just a controversy. It could be fraud. Imagine losing your college scholarship or Olympic slot to someone who shouldn't be competing. That's not just unfair, it's career-ending for some athletes. Lawyers are already whispering. Some say this could open up a flood of lawsuits. And if the WNBA knew about it, that's a whole other legal mess. Should leagues be legally responsible for protecting fairness?
In a way, I feel sorry for him because all of his success depends on him maintaining the lie he's lived with for his whole life. Of course, Russia gives zero shits and will treat him as the male he is. Maybe it'll be a refreshing change from him. And this is with, of course, reference to the fact that there was some speculation that Brittney Griner was actually put in a male prison.
This story's gone international. Other sports bodies, soccer, swimming, Olympic committees, they're watching this unfold in real time. Why? Because if the WNBA gets caught in a scandal this big, every women's sport is going to face the same questions. How do you define eligibility? How do you enforce fairness? How do you keep fans' trust? This could set a precedent. If the league sweeps it under the rug, it tells the world, we care more about image than integrity. Do you think this will change how women's sports operate across the board? Let's be real, the WNBA has been grinding for years just to get a sliver of the spotlight. Building a fan base, proving the product is legit, breaking attendance records. And just when things were finally looking up, boom, this mess drops. A top-tier player, Brittney Griner, is caught elbowing the league's biggest rising star and possibly hiding biological advantages. And the league? Crickets. Nothing. Like it never happened. That's not just a bad look, that's a straight-up crisis.
And the reason why is because, let me tell you something right now. I'm not going to go to word hate. I'm not going to be out there like RG3 was saying that Angel Reese hates Caitlyn Clark or other players hate Caitlyn Clark. But I will say this. I don't think it's specific about Caitlyn Clark. I think it's what Caitlyn Clark represents. See, it's no fault of Caitlyn Clark. Caitlyn Clark balled. She balled at Iowa in college. She's balled since she's been in the NBA. She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being 4th in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard when it was really all said and done. We know what she brings to the table. But people wanted to hate because why? You had a bunch of players in this league that watched this young white girl come along and take the league by storm. And they resented it because they saw the marketing prowess that she had. They ignored the fact that you got chartered flights because of this girl. They ignored the fact that ratings were going through the roof because of this girl. Instead, they resented it because they said, yo, we were doing stuff long before Caitlyn Clark got here, and y'all wasn't paying attention then. But now, the young white girl comes along, and y'all want to sit up there and shower all of this praise and all of this attention that was earned before she ever came along. The resentment is understandable, but it's not about Caitlyn Clark, it's about what she represents. My point is, grow up.
You've got players whispering behind the scenes, coaches keeping their mouths shut, sponsors nervously watching from the sidelines. And fans? Some are already tuning out. This isn't just a scandal. It's a ticking time bomb that could blow up everything the WNBA has been trying to build. Think about it. One controversy, if handled wrong, could undo years of progress. All that momentum, gone. And for what, protecting one player at the expense of the whole league? So here's the big question. Does the WNBA finally face the music and come clean? Or is the damage already done? Look, this story, far from over. We've seen the elbow, we've heard the slur, the Instagram video is out, medical professionals are speaking up, the AI stuff, wild, and Griner, dead silent, not even a tweet. She's either lawyering up behind the scenes or praying this blows over. But let me be real with you, it's not going away, not this time, because people care. Fans are fed up, players are quietly whispering. Even sponsors are starting to ask questions. And let's not forget the future of women's sports is on the line here. This isn't just a league issue, it's a culture-defining moment. So what now? Does the WNBA finally break its silence? Do they launch a real investigation? Or do they double down and hope we all just move on and forget? Honestly, deep down you probably already know what the league is going to do. But the bigger question is, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to stay quiet too? If you believe in fairness, in truth, and in protecting women's sports, hit that like button. Drop your thoughts in the comments because this isn't just drama. It's bigger than basketball. And we're not done yet. So make sure to subscribe more. Truth bombs are coming your way.